Hello, everyone. Today, our group, myself, Kevin, Kenya, and Alexandra, will be presenting on conflict management. We will discuss what conflict is, why it happens in close relationships, and what healthy conflict resolution looks like. Our goal is to help you understand how communication can affect trust and how the way we handle disagreement can either strengthen or damage a relationship. To begin, let's look at what conflict actually is.
What is conflict? Conflict is a disagreement or a clash of needs, values, or expectations. Conflict is a normal in close relationships because we care about each other and we depend on each other. What matters most is how we handle it because that affects trust and emotional safety. Think about the last conflict you had. The issue might not have been important as how it was handled.
Conflict usually begins when needs, priorities, or expectations don't match. We may experience conflict because we want different levels of attention or time. We make assumptions instead of communicating. We have expectations that aren't being met. Emotions or stress from our personal life affect the conversation. There may be unspoken feelings behind the argument. Many conflicts aren't about the topic at all. They are reactions to how someone feels about the situation. For example, someone who is upset about not helping with chores may actually feel unappreciated, unsupported, or overwhelmed. Thinking of thinking of a conflict you've experienced, ask yourself, was it really about the issue or about the feeling behind it?
Our emotional state directly affects the way we communicate. When someone doesn't feel emotionally safe, they may speak quickly without thinking, shut down or avoid communication, become defensive, or misinterpret neutral statements as criticism. Healthy communication requires emotional safety. When we feel respected and heard, we are more likely to express ourselves clearly and listen more openly. When we feel judged, attacked, or ignored, we protect ourselves rather than communicate honestly. Now that we understand why conflict happens, let's talk about how people respond to it.
There are five common conflict responses: avoiding, accommodating, competing, compromising, and collaborating. Each response impacts the relationship differently. Some of these responses may protect peace temporarily, while others may create fair solutions, and one response helps protect the relationship long term. As we go through each style, think about which one reflects your natural response.
Harmful response. Two response can be harmful when you use too often. Avoiding creates distance and leave issue unresolved. Competing wins the argument but damages emotional safety. These methods may solve the moment or avoid the moment, but they harm the relationship over time.
Compromising is when both people give up something to meet in the middle. It can feel fair and help move forward, but it may not address deeper feelings. When compromise becomes the main strategy, both people may accept less than what they truly need, resulting in temporary solutions rather than understanding. Have you ever agreed to a compromise that still left you unsatisfied? That's what happens when needs are not fully expressed.
Here's our first example. A friend asks to copy your homework. You agree to it even though you feel uncomfortable because you want to avoid tension. Think about which response this represents. The scenario shows accommodating. One person sacrifices their needs to protect the peace. In the moment, this may feel like the right decision, but repeating this behavior can create imbalance, resentment, and dishonesty within the relationship.
Here's another example. You want more time with your partner. They're busy, so you agree to spend only 1 hour together, even though neither person is satisfied. Which response is this? This example is compromising. Both individuals give something up to reach a middle agreement. It solves the issue quickly, but it may prevent deeper needs, emotions, or concerns from being communicated.
Here's another example. A family member repeatedly makes hurtful comments, and you stay silent to prevent things from getting worse. Think about which response this represents. This is avoiding. Silence doesn't solve conflict, it only hides it. When we stay silent to keep the peace, we allow the problem to grow internally. Over time, the relationship becomes more distant because feelings remain unspoken.
Here's another situation. During an argument, one person raises their voice and pushes until the other person gives in. Which style is being used? This example is competing, where the goal is to win rather than to understand. A person may feel successful in the moment, but the relationship loses respect and emotional safety. Winning the argument may cost the relationship itself.
Here is the last one. Two people communicate honestly, listen to one another, and work together to find a fair solution that respects both of their needs. Which style is this? The answer is collaborating. This is the healthiest conflict style because it values respect, fairness, and emotional safety. Instead of competing or compromising, collaboration seeks a solution that protects both people and strengthens the relationship.
Think about your current relationships, family, friendships, or romantic relationships. Ask yourself, how do I react during conflict? Does my response help the relationship or harm it? Do I communicate my needs clearly? Conflict grows. Conflict creates growth only when we communicate honestly and respectfully. Avoiding conflict or winning it does not build trust. Understanding builds trust.
Using I statements. I statements express how we feel without blaming others. For example, instead of saying you don't care about my feelings, you can say I feel ignored when I'm not listened to. This helps the other person listen without getting defensive.
Healthy conflict requires active listening. Instead of defending ourselves right away, we can say, I want to understand what you mean. Can you explain more? Listening builds trust, increases clarity, and helps solve the problem rather than attack the person.
What is your conflict style? Choose a response that reflects how you normally react. A. I avoid the issue. B. I give in to keep the peace. C. I argue to prove my point. D. I try to meet in the middle. E. I want us both to get what we need. This is not about judging yourself, but about increasing awareness. When you when you know how to respond, you can learn to respond more effectively.
Here's what your answer reveals. A. Avoiding. You stay silent to keep the peace, but it can create distance. If you selected B. Accommodating, you protect others, but your needs may be ignored. And if you selected C. Competing, you push to win, but it may harm emotional safety. And if you have selected D. Compromising, you meet in the middle, but deeper feelings may remain unspoken. And lastly, if you selected E, collaborating, you communicate honestly and protect the relationship. Knowing your style helps you grow from conflict instead of getting stuck in it. Healthy conflict is not about winning, it's about understanding one another. Strong communication happens when we speak honestly without blaming.
When we listen to understand rather than react, we create emotional safety.
When we solve the problem instead of attacking the person, we help the relationship grow.
Healthy conflict builds trust, respect, and stronger relationships over time. Applying these tools to your real life and choosing communication that strengthens the relationships you care about.